Hello, it's Dr. Katka here. Today is May 31st. Look at this. I am here at Saguaro National Park in Tucson, Arizona. I'm gonna share with you some of the blooming saguaros. But more than anything, I do want to share with you a little bit of a recap of the month May. This is a massive... Oh, this is beautiful. Look at that. My goodness. So in May, I have shared with you a lot. May has been a very powerful month when it comes to energy moving. So as I'm sharing with you the beauty of these saguaros, the lovely thing here, some of them are still blooming. Most of them have finished their blooms. I love to share with you in nature because it is always a reminder of honoring the nature within us. Meaning there's this innate nature or intuition or soul, whatever you wish to call it, that is our guiding light. And in these times more than ever, I feel we really need to come back to it. You know, those me times that we spend in nature, we spend with ourselves. The month of May has been a profound when it comes to it being a month 5 of a year 5, meaning everything is amplified, and you may have seen that there's a lot of kind of push and pull, a lot of division in the world, a lot of right versus wrong. And what that is, it's an invitation really for us to come even more into our truth and into empowering ourselves from a lot of guides and intuitives and like Lee Harris, and I've spoken to a lot of my teachers, and they feel that more than ever the energies are very turbulent, meaning there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of unknown, there is a lot of kind of, you name it. You know, I've been to this desert museum here, and it says with big letters, if you have not been vaccinated, you must wear a mask in an area where it's not okay, where it's not available to social distance, or in enclosed areas. If you are fully vaccinated, you do not have to wear a mask. It's like, okay. So I walked into this area, and they have inside, you know, like frogs and snakes and reptiles. It's really beautifully well done. And there's a gentleman standing like so close, and he's standing and he's just like not moving. He's just standing, and I kind of like looked around him and wanted to take a peek at the snake. It was some kind of green snake. And he looks at me, points to the floor. There's a little, it says 6 feet. Gives me this look, 6 feet. That's all he says. And I look at him, he says 6 feet. And he keeps pointing to the thing. He's holding a mask in his hand, but he doesn't have it on him. And I thought, wow, it's really not much to say, really. So I stepped aside, but realized what just happened there. And do we really have the right to do this in such a harsh way? You know, it would have been one thing if he said, could you please step away 6 feet until I'm done? That would be so much kinder and so much nicer. It's like, of course. Instead of that, I have the power given by the 6 feet rule, and I have the power given by all the rules given. So what I have noticed is this misuse of power, and I really want to speak to that, because this next month is one that we really are going to need to stay aware and connected to our love and to our truth. Remember Lee Harris, he was asking his guides, the Z's he calls them, and they said there are 4. I'm gonna find that for you. There's gonna be a lot of turbulence coming up over the next few years, starting, this year, actually last year. And there's 4 main emotions or feelings that we are being asked to cultivate. See if I can remember them. It's joy, love, compassion, and the 4th one is truth. So for us to cultivate these is going to be very important, especially in the moments we get into these encounters of people that mostly out of fear use their power to, right? Like I shared with you about the flight attendant on the flight back. It was this profound misuse of power that's just so sharp and then cuts. And the tendency is, for me, the tendency was, in my head, what are you thinking? Like in my head, it was like, I got like, and then I thought, okay, that is not the way. So I have to catch myself, because what happens, that profound reaction just goes deep, and it goes like, and what it elicits in most of us is defense, right? Like, I gotta like be defensive and fight for but that is the subconscious mind trying to protect us back, and that is not really needed. And we aren't invited to really consciously come from a place of love and compassion. The truth is something to really be honoring. Can you see these guys up here? They already have red fruits eaten by the birds. This is really beautiful. The saguaros, which you can't really see, but they go all the way up onto these little hills. Like literally, they are all over. It's so profound. I was reading, there were a few people that back in the 1920s, 1930s preserved these lands for generations to come by making them into park and into national monument and national park, because they would have been all used for homesteads and mining specifically. So this was, I just cried, just, by the grace of somebody's truth who knew that this needs to be done and who made it happen, which was so beautiful. It was C.J. Brown. It's the Brown Mountain was named after him. But what I'm saying is in the tough moments, sometimes it gets hard. So we want to find moment every day to focus on breath, to focus on those 4. Joy is so beautiful. Sometimes it's hard to come from joy, but whatever brings us joy is what we want to do. Whether it's go swimming, go play with the grandkids, paint, write a poem, whatever it is, if we can focus a little bit on joy, it gives us more connection to gratitude, compassion, and all those beautiful things. I've always spoken about truth, and the reason I'm speaking about truth so much is because standing in our truth helps us to be in power, the power that comes from compassion, yet is able to make change. Not, I'm not gonna steer the waters and I'm going to stay away. It's like, when is the time to speak and be, I be and speak. There's a beautiful story that I want to share with you that really kind of puts all this in perspective. My teacher shared with me that he was able to, Dr. David Berceli, that he was able to drive Mother Teresa around, and so he was able to be in her presence, and he was really able to witness her her power, that was this gentle yet very strong, grounded in her truth power. And I want to share that with you here. She was invited by a king of a country, I believe in Africa. He wanted her and her congregation and sisters of the congregation to come and help to spread the word and love. And she came with her sisters, and they had, necklaces with the cross on. And he says, thank you for coming, and you are not really going to be able to wear these here because we do not support it. To which he replied, I understand, and this is our connection to God, this is our connection to our truth and to what we believe, and it gives us strength, and we must therefore wear it. And thank you for your invitation. And she turned and she started walking away, right? There was no judgment, there was no ill feelings, it was just truth coming from a place of profound power, and thank you and no thank you. To which the king was like, oh, please, please, please don't go, please stay, I understand, please stay. With the necklaces, of course. And I just love that so much, and that's what I aspire to. Can I be in my truth, so deeply in my truth, that I know when the words come out, they are true words filled with compassion, yet they have power. So the next month, so really, as you've seen it, the division in the coming from the place of what I call false power, really, because it's the mind, grasping onto these rules that are all over the place. I mean, when you go to other countries in the world, everybody has different rules, and they must be followed. It's if you do something against these rules, you actually not only have to pay a massive fine, you could spend a lot of time in prison. That's how, and these rules were all, established in the next year, a few months or so. So with that, I want to invite us for this next month, which astrology-wise, I'm going to share with you my friend's Matt information is going to be a little bit more turbulent, in that more up and down, some planets in retrograde, you name it. And again, it all depends on your individual chart, really, because some have sun here, some have sun there. So let's not get into the generalization of, okay, it's going to be turbulent, hence I am going to have a, bad month. No, quite the opposite. The reason I'm sharing that is knowing that it may be a turbulent month will have us stay focused and grounded in, okay, it's more important than ever to be in my truth and to be in love and compassion. And if I can have some joy on top of it, great. But understanding that a lot of people are going to be swept by the energies of the rules and the world and the false power, and so it'll be easier to get triggered, right? It'll be so much easier to, like, for this gentleman, 6 feet and he was tall, like he's like probably twice the size as me. I was looking, not really, but 1.5 at least. He's looking at me like, I have the power, because so in that, can I just say, okay, this is my truth and I don't need to get triggered. That's all. Just being more conscious of what is happening and understanding that individually we all have the power of the grace. The power of the grace. That'll be our motto for the month of June 2021. Thank you so much. So grateful for you. Every single day really is a gift. I was walking here just out of nowhere, so many saguaros, and I was going through this like, oh, I came too late, you know, they're done blooming, or they're mostly done blooming, and oh, I always miss out, and you know, and so all my like miss out came, and it's this piling up of you know, all of that in the past. So my energy is going into the past, and there's all this regret, and instead of being focused here in the present and enjoying it. So I have been sort of working through that, and working through the grief of that, yet understanding that, just feeling the energy of the grief. It just came like, okay, can I just feel the energy of the grief of missing out, and allow for what's on the other side to enter. It's like, okay, so I'm driving from the east one to the west one last night, and I was like, okay, I'll just see what transpires. And this morning I'm walking, and there's so many saguaros, and some of them are blooming because last night they weren't. So there wasn't a single bloom last night, and I thought, oh, I missed it. So there's a few of them right now, as you can see still. And that was this moment of walking, and I felt so much gratitude for just being able to walk amongst them. And what I mean, not just amongst them and witnessing them, but actually being able to walk, you know, just step by step. And I thought, oh wow, oh wow. Oh wow, how profound. So with that said, we'll see what comes next. Thank you so much. I'll show you this little family of babies. It's amazing. These babies are pretty old already. I think you can see them. There's 3 of them right here. I don't know if that's the mama. You never know. Maybe. And then over here, there's a lot of prickly pear here too. But over in this one, I'm in a spot where it's more prickly pear than saguaro. However, look at these guys. Hope you can see it. There's a lot of hope here because there's a lot of babies and some blooming saguaro still. Yay! So to the month of May, thank you, thank you, thank you for your profound gifts. And to the month of June, we are invited to be in joy, love, compassion, and our truth.